Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us tonight. We continue to say on the APC matter for you on the World Congresses of the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC. Yesterday, we had the leader of the aggrieved group in Lagos, Mr. Jide Adediran of the Lagos for Lagos group, who said the process was hijacked. Tonight, we have the spokesperson of the APC in Lagos, Mr. Shaye Oladejo. He joins me here in our Lagos studio. Thank you so much, Mr. Oladejo, for coming.
Thank you for having me.
What a member of your party, Jide Adediran, said yesterday was that the process was hijacked. They were not allowed to buy forms in the first instance. And later on, what came up was that they didn't even know what was happening.
Well, I would rather say it's rather unfortunate that Jide Adediran, if truly he remains a member of our party, would say the process was hijacked. The process leading to the World Congress itself was well advertised, the guidelines, what members who were interested in contesting the what offices needed to do. The guidelines were well publicized in the papers. They were supposed to come to the state secretariat of the party to purchase forms. To the best of my knowledge, no one was turned down who wanted to buy forms. And it was rather unfortunate that I could go on here and start alleging the state governor hijacked the process and stuff like that. I need to say on national TV that our governor is peculiar to the extent that he's not interfering in any way with party politics.
But what happened, Mr. Oladejo, if you can give us an understanding of what happened? On Saturday morning, the committee came out to say, if you want to buy forms, forms are still available. That's at 9 a.m.
Before Saturday morning, the forms had been on sale for days at the state secretariat of the party. The truth of the matter remains that the group, led by Jide Adediran, decided to compose themselves to the opposition within the ruling party. They refused to identify with the state secretariat of the party because that group actually contested the last Congress. And they said they had their own parallel executive. Abuja definitely would not be dealing with a caucus within the party, would deal with the duly recognized executive of the party at the state level. So the forms were sent to the state. If they refuse to buy the forms at the state secretariat, they only have themselves to blame. This is politics. This is not activism. So it's either you conform. When you belong to a political party, like any other group or association, you must be prepared to conform to certain guidelines and constitutions, as it were. So what they've simply done was to boycott the Congress, to the best of my knowledge, because they refused to buy the forms and follow the guidelines.
All right.
So the World Congress committees were duly constituted. And I also need to say that the committee from Abuja to oversee the Congress in Lagos also held the stakeholders meeting, which everybody attended, where we agreed to a consensus.
Okay, so you agreed to a consensus within the party.
We did agree to a consensus.
The Governor Advisory Council also met, GAC met,
yes,
and they said it's going to be nothing but consensus.
Precisely.
But did all the factions, all the groups, all the different people in the party, because when I say people now in the party, it means that different groups of people within your APC in Lagos, did they agree to that consensus?
Let me put the issue of a consensus in perspectives. There are a lot of misconception here. The very idea of a conception means the aggregation of the opinion, of the position of the large majority of members of the party on a particular issue. Consensus doesn't translate to 100% agreement. It was on air yesterday saying 5, 6, 7 tendencies, and its only tendency was only one in agreement. So 6 out of 7 agreed. And let me also say that those who put the guidelines together also anticipated some disagreement at the end of the exercise. So his group could only avail themselves of the opportunity of approaching the appeal committee, set off towards the World Congress, and table their grievances. They still have that window of opportunity. So,
I mean, how many were the committee members who came from
7.
Abuja?
7.
How many wards are there in Lagos?
245.
If other people disagree, because what your constitution, your party constitution says about consensus is, if one out of the different groups disagree on consensus, then you have to revert to practical elections.
For the purpose of this conversation, let's say one disagreed. And the one that disagreed claimed there on the program yesterday that they did not even obtain the form. That means they have no locus.
No, but they said they obtained the forms, they have the receipt of the forms they purchased.
So to the best of our knowledge, they said they were denied the purchase of the form. That can only mean one thing. I'm a politician. It can only mean they printed their own forms. The argument still remains in the public space today, all over social media, that they couldn't get the forms to buy. So if at the end of the day they had forms, that would only mean they got their own forms. And that's some impunity if you ask me.
It's an obvious thing that your party is divided in Lagos, is it?
Not quite. A few people grandstanding, playing the role of the opposition within the ruling party, and that can only lead to some IDPs. Imagine, you want to ask me what IDPs are?
What are they?
Internally displaced politicians. That's how they're going to end up. You just need to conform to certain rules and regulations and constitution of the party.
Does that augur well for your party in Lagos?
Interestingly, as we come down to elections, we always find a way to mend fences, to bring everybody together, to achieve cohesion and forming a common front to win elections. And that's why we're so successful as a party in the state.
Are you worried that these guys may go to court and scuttle perhaps everything you're trying to work on?
Interestingly, if they go to court too, we expect there will be fair hearing, and we also have every right to defend our position. So we're not really worried. We're very confident that we're in the majority. Those who agree to the consensus, we're the majority, and we can sustain this position even in the national space.